And also, just before we get into more questions, Matthew Longfellow, you don't usually mention editors, but by God, the way he would cut from something Jack said to the music or something, a riff you were playing in the music, I just thought that was great. So whether Matthew's here or not, give him a hand. Ray, what was it like for you personally to take yourself back into that moment of and reliving that for yourself?
Joyous.
Joyous?
Okay. Absolute joy. I mean, those songs are so fucking good.
Yes, sir!
And Robby Krieger is such a genius with your secret weapon. Coming up with song that...
Robby!
What a pleasure to play with him.
He'd be looking around, watching the flies, and cutting these incredible riffs. It was like two people, one enjoying what he was doing and enjoying the environment, and then the hands were doing miraculous things.
And by the way, Jack, I got to give it to you for, supposedly people in your business are these cold, calculating, money-grubbing folks. You've got this wonderful poetic soul and the way that you express yourself and the fact that you got the Doors. Thank you for getting what the Doors are about. Here.
No other label wanted us, you know. We went to Columbia, we went to Lou Adler, we went to this one, and Jack was the only one that got it.
Well, he was from New York. Here comes this long, tall drink of water out of New York City. And he understands, perhaps the whiskey bar clicked in his brain and said, oh my God, these guys are doing Brecht and Vile. Holy cow, they're more than just a rock band. So working with the man was great. Thank you, Jack. You've been great, brother.
Yes.
I didn't quite get it the first few nights, but I kept coming back. Sometimes you hear a song that you know from another contest, as the Alabama song was, and suddenly, when I heard that and understood what they were doing, especially Ray, it all came clear for me. So at that moment, everything filled in for me, and I knew that was a band I had to have. Now, they had just been, I guess fired is a pretty good word, who decided
Dropped
to record them. And it was and about a week later I showed up with the whiskey, and they said something to me that we all will make that decision. If we all agree, we'll talk further with you, and hopefully maybe we'll sign with Elektra. We had a couple of advantages. Most of them had Elektra albums or Nonsuch albums in their library, and they had seen the arc over time of coming from a folk label and getting involved with the early singer-songwriter. We were the Butterfield Blues Band and Colonel Ray Glover, the great guitarist like Stevens. So it was a natural flow, and it changed my life. It changed the trajectory of Elektra.
Everything I was listening to in high school, everything I listened to in high school was on Elektra Records. And not only that, but produced by Paul Rothschild. Turner and Glover, Butterfield, all that stuff I was listening to in high school, and it was obvious for me that we had to be with you guys.
And what was great about our relationship was Jack never told us what we had to do. Record companies were always telling you, well, I don't know what the hell they were telling you, because we never worked with any of those fools. But they were always trying to get a hit single, and you can imagine Columbia and all of that. Jack's only prerequisites with us, he said, look, do whatever you want. Whatever you guys want to do it. Just don't do the George Carlin 7 deadly words. Fuck, motherfucker, cocksucker, cunt. Just don't say any of those words. And don't say them now in the 21st century, Ray. So just watch your mouth.
How is it that Ray is the only guy up here who's memorized the 7 deadly words? Ray knows them by heart.
Butthole or something.
We had this thing when we were making the records, especially for AM radio. We used to talk about not being able to cross the fuck barrier for radio. And then finally, that's why in Break On Through, the word high is missing.
Right, that song, that's a word number 8. There were 7 that we all know, but add to it in the 60s,
Right.
high.
Yes, thank you, Ed Sullivan.
Yeah, that's so.
Bruce, you were the one that suggested the rehearsal studio for this album. Yes?
Sort of, but basically wanted to find out where they were the most comfortable.
Right.
And,
And why do you think that worked so well for them?
well, we were in our own, it was home, we were in our own playpen.
Come on, man, they said that about 1,000 times in the movie. Let's get on.
I think you're writing the questions. You want to make sure everybody gets a question.
Sorry.
There's something else I think really contributed enormously. Paul Rothchild has been a fabulous producer. But by the soft parade, it was 50 takes of everything. This way they could go into the studio, and they made up their minds when they had it and when they didn't. And they had a wonderfully and magical set of ears in the control room. I had no doubts when I said, just go ahead and do it any way you wanted to do it, that it was going to work.
That's fantastic. Yes, sir.
Bruce Botnick had produced or recorded the Supremes. Who else before us?
Marvin Gaye,
Marvin
Beach
Gaye.
Boys.
He knew what he was doing.
The good thing about these sessions were that we would do one song at a time. We would finish it, one song at a time. Because when you do a track, and then you do another track, and then you do another track, and days go by, and then you come back to that track, that original song, you don't remember what you were doing. You don't have that feeling. So we really focused on getting the song, getting the feel. If we got a take, the guys would come up and listen, and they go, oh, that's good. I think we could do one better. Oh, we've got it. And they would go down and just nail it. And that way and then Jim would do whatever overdubs needed to be done, or Robby, or whatever. But it was wonderful from that standpoint. One of the few albums I've made where we were able to do it one song at a time.
Next question I have is for Robby, but after